I know I need to size up with you, and when I defang the Viper, trust me, ain't gonna come from nowhere. Jeff, I already put you out. I don't even know why you're out here right now. Keep on talking. Hey, do me a favor. Why don't you act like this is an AA meeting and you shut your mouth while I'm sharing with the group? And Mustafa, you out here, a boy among men. And I'm gonna tell you what, you got lucky at the Rumble, so I know you're gonna come out here and run your mouth about how bad you are. But let me give you a little bit of a reality check. You see, Mustafa, you said that my eyes don't lie. Well, your eyes don't lie either, because last week, they were closed real tight when I put your simple ass to sleep. And AJ, hey man, be honest with me. How's our old girl Wendy doing?
Let's talk about the road to the Rumble, because we're on the road to WrestleMania, but road to the Rumble. Rumble's first. Are we excited for the Royal Rumble? Is my question. Like right now, with everything going in, just I know you're always, because Royal Rumble I know is that's your favorite pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but specifically going into this one, and the reason why I'm asking this is because I feel like this could end up being a great Rumble, but I'm also kind of concerned of what's about to happen, because there's this collision course for WrestleMania that I could see happening with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, that this could be the best version of their matchup at WrestleMania. We've seen it a couple times, but this one right here, I'm all in for it. However, then what does that mean for the Rumble? Because in some way that means that either one of them, I can't even see how we get there, to be honest with you, because my prediction right now would be Big E wins the Royal Rumble. Like, that would make the most sense to me, given everything that's happened, given he just lost again to Seth freaking Rollins. But that doesn't lead to the match that seems to be hyped up right now, which is Brock versus Roman. So something's going to happen here to where is the Royal Rumble, like, and again, I don't want a fantasy book, but I don't know. I'm just kind of in this weird space right now where I'm almost skipping over the Rumble and going straight to WrestleMania. Like, my mind is almost not there with the Rumble. Like, unless because I know, I think on Friday they're supposed to be going ahead and trying to do this title for title matchup on SmackDown. I may be wrong on that, but I heard something about that potentially being the match for SmackDown, that they're just going to go ahead and do this. And if they do, we know nothing's changing. They're not going to change, do a undisputed champion on free TV. Ain't happening. Not happening. But if we are leading towards WrestleMania, Roman versus Brock, again, I'm all in for that. But it's almost taking my attention away from the Rumble. Like, even these matches that they're having right now, like, we have a couple of these matches set up. It's Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. 20 years in the making, basically. That's fucking dope. But I don't think Bobby's going to win, because I'm thinking about this matchup at WrestleMania. We've got Seth freaking Rollins versus Roman Reigns. Holy shit, brother versus brother. Dun 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 dun. With
doing the knot.
Oh my God. I was like, ingenious. That's great. I'm in. But then I'm thinking, oh man, he's not gonna win. Roman's gonna win because he's going to WrestleMania to fight Brock. So it almost feels like filler. Like, if I think about it that way, I hope they do something to change my mind. But it kind of feels like filler right now with the way this is all being built. So, but you guys are excited. So you're not really seeing it that way. Like, how are y'all seeing it?
I got a question. So you view these matchups as very predictable then?
It feels that way. Yes. Because I just don't see, how do you not do that match? The Brock versus Roman matchup, title for title, in the main event at WrestleMania. How do you at Dallas, at that $1 billion playpen, Jerry World, how do you not do it there? You know what I'm saying? Like, the only thing, I mean, if they would have gotten The Rock, okay, fine, like, we would have done something like that, but they're going to save that for LA probably, if ever. But yeah, man, I mean, it just makes so much sense to do champion versus champion. So I don't know. For me, I just don't see, it feels very predictable, yes, that both of these matches are going to end in both champions retaining. And if so, then the Royal Rumble winner, are they going to go after the NXT championship? Or are they going to try to take the championship before WrestleMania? Because Vince is not going to let that match go. That match is happening. So I don't know. That's where I'm at. I'm a little like I'm gonna have fun with the Rumble because it's the Rumble, but I'm not like going into like, oh shit, this is gonna be like, oh man, it's gonna be so cool. If and again, I'm going into it thinking Big E makes sense for him to win the Rumble. That's my prediction for it, but it doesn't make sense to me the entire complete story because of how much they're building Roman versus Brock, title for title, which feels like it has Mania written all over it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. No, it's the victim of circumstance for Roman not being at day one is where we're at now. But the reason why I liked Brock winning at that point is because there was no predictable story of Brock coming out of that. When you focus it just on the Raw side, right? Like, what do we do from Raw? Of course, we all want Lashley Brock, but we've been invested in Big E and his ability to represent WWE on the highest level. So now is this his Bianca moment? Because now he's not laughing in promos anymore. No. He's serious now. He's ready to go. So I agree. Like, again, to not fantasy book it, but it doesn't mean me wanting Big E to win the Rumble and him winning the Rumble, I'm gonna be let down. I'll be hyped. I want Big E to win the Rumble because he's from an over-analyzing fan perspective, he's earned it, right? He's earned it. He has from us as adults watching them on TV, he's earned it, right? But his character development and how strong he is, Bobby Lashley wasn't this strong either when he was champion. Now that he's not champion, Bobby is insane. Yeah. And this Bobby could beat Brock. And the title for title thing getting thrown in there, especially being Brock's idea coming out of his mouth, it was like, and they just unified the title on 2.0. So I'm like, is this a thing? I don't like the fantasy book. I don't like to speculate because you start over. Like, I mean, look, Hafeez, you just did it.
I know.
Yeah, that's what he does. The Messiah podcast.
Yeah. I'm waiting. You waiting for April 13th or whatever it is. You 3 months. You ready to go?
He's there already.
The next 90 days don't even matter. Here we go. But I tell you, I'll give you this. Even when you look at it that way, since Roman has won the title, has he lost? No. Nope. In every single match, did you think he might lose?
There were a couple times.
That's how great he is, and that's what's going to happen at Royal Rumble 2 against Seth. We're going to be building to a match where we don't think he's going to lose, and then go, oh shit, he might lose this one. He's setting up for the stomp. What happened? Superman put spear. What the? And that's what Roman does. So like, I can agree where it does look so predictable. I can't go, this is predictable. All right, whatever. Like, I gotta watch because I don't. Yeah. Maybe it's not going to be predictable. Maybe it won't, because honestly, I'm going to let myself down. I think Bobby beats Brock at Rumble because that's how you get out of it.
Legit, you think that happens?
Yeah,
okay,
that's how you get out of it.
I like that. I love that.
He clowned him on Monday Night Raw. He clowned him.
Dude,
it was great. It was so great. Knock, knock. You know what I'm saying? Bobby, like, the fact that Paul Heyman's face was when Brock goes Bobby. Paul Heyman's face is like, I really have to say Bobby who right now. Like like the way they said it's fucking perfect. It's so good.
Yep.
And Bobby, there was times even when talks of him coming back, I was listening to him in interviews. I was trying to invest his sisters, all that stuff. Bobby didn't seem ready for the moment. Bobby's ready for the moment.
He's
like this. He stood across from Brock when he called him a wannabe Brock Lesnar. All that. Bobby didn't look worse for it. There's so many opponents that can get talked down to like that, and they look worse for it.
Right.
Bobby didn't. Bobby, you look at Bobby, you're like, oh, fuck him up, Bobby. Fuck him up, Bobby. And you got babyface Brock against heel Bobby, and we're rooting for Bobby. Like this is what's happening. So when you talk storytelling, you know what I'm saying? This is, I think they're doing great. And I think if Bobby can find a way to beat Brock in any way, shape, or form, I don't care if the whole locker room comes out and the ref gets knocked out and they beat up Brock just so Bobby can win. You know what I'm saying? I don't care because that's how you get out of it. And then at the end, whoever wins the Rumble goes after Bobby. And then you have, the Brock Roman thing later on. That's the cleanest way to do it, right? And then, of course, we get Big E Bobby for 35 minutes at WrestleMania. I'm not going to complain.
Oh, no. Hell no. No. So I'm gonna thank you right now because when I first was thinking about all this, I'm like, oh man, like I want Big E to win, but damn, Brock, why do you have to go and say title for title? And then I'm thinking exactly what you just said about Bobby Lashley. Like that does make a whole lot of sense for it to be, Bobby, so that Big E versus Bobby could happen again. That'd be cool. I'm not going to complain about that. It's just, thinking about Vince McMahon and thinking about like just the big money matches and all that. Like it just that title for title things hanging out there. And unifying those belts and the picture, because if that happens, I see Roman winning.
Oh,
I see Roman with both championships at the end of the show. Yeah, exactly. Made man. He's already there, but damn. So that is a hell of an opportunity. But we'll just wait and see, what happens there. And yes, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna enjoy it. The Rumble's always fun. Like I just have a good time with it. So it is what it is. But it was a thing where it just felt a little bit predictable. But thank you though for talking me through this, because now I feel like all right.
Check me out at TW Takes Podcast on Twitter.
There you go.
Check out the little circle and see what that says over there. All right, so go to at TW Takes Podcast on Twitter. Check out that circle. Click on it. Read what it says. I got you all day.
You know what? That's where I'm at with Brock. No, not with Brock, but with Seth Rollins. Well, Seth freaking Rollins. Let me get that in there. Seth freaking Rollins against the Tribal Chief, because there's a rich history there that basically Seth got Roman's number, and he knows that. When Pierce came in, interrupted, when the Tribal Chief trying to watch his cousins win, he was like, man, go on with that shit, man. I ain't trying to hear it. He was like, I got your opponent, man. I smashed everybody, man. It's whatever. Get the fuck out of here. And they said it was Seth. My mouth dropped. I was lost in that story, bro. Lost in that story. And then on the other side of the fence with Brock and Bobby, I got lost because of Bobby's day one performance. How Brock totally ignored him. Like he put him over. He didn't get no work from this man, bro. Nothing. But Bobby completely dominated Brock, man. Speared him 2 times, put him in the hurt lock. Looked like Brock's about to take a sleep. I was like, holy shit, man. So I'm lost on both sides. And I think there's a chance that I'm sorry, Chopper.
Oh man, what you about to say right now?
I'm gonna be real. If I was to make an early prediction, if you was to say like, all right, I'm still pick my Tribal Chief.
January 12th.
But my confidence, if I was to put my level of confidence, it'll be like at a 6.
Oh,
it'll be at a 6, man, because of Seth, bro. Seth, man, he always had your number. Be real, man. You need to get this up.
6 for the Tribal Chief against anybody. Wow.
Yes.
I never thought I'd see that.
I give Seth his respect, bro. And the way they just have that back history. Yeah. And I can't wait for Friday. I cannot wait. I want to hear what Seth is gonna say. He probably bring up some old tape, roll it. Look at this, my evidence. My evidence right here. Proof. I'll be like, oh shit.
Man. Dude, man. So will you be okay? So if Seth beats the Tribal Chief, will you be okay?
Well,
no. I won't be. You have to come check
at least he'll retain the record though, because he'll beat Brock's record. I'm like, okay, he got that at least.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Seth always said, I'm next in line. I'm the next one to inherit. So he always said that. So it's a possibility. That's what I'm saying. My confidence level's at a 6. All right. Leave me alone now, man. I'm done with this. Done with this subject. Shit.
That is a way to flip the championships to different shows, because that would mean Seth takes the Universal Championship over to Raw, and then Roman, let's say Bobby does not beat Brock. Brock keeps the championship, but Brock against Roman for the WWE Championship. Roman's gonna beat Brock at WrestleMania. This match is happening. Roman's winning that match. So I could see, maybe you move the WWE Championship instead of doing this whole swap thing like they keep doing with the draft. Like maybe you tell this kind of slow burn of how we move these 2 belts from one show to another, whatever. Because I have been thinking about that too. Like maybe they do that, but oh man, I don't know. There's so many possibilities. Again, thank you both, because you guys get my excitement level for this pay-per-view up. a little
What'd
bit
I do?
more now.
Endless possibilities to this, man. It's hard. It's hard to predict.
Sorry,
That's what I
made a
like about
mistake.
this story.
Premium live event. I
There
just
you
said
go.
pay-per-view. Premium
Yeah,
live
premium live
event. Got to
event.
get it right because
Right.
they can't. They're not pay-per-views anymore. I
It's
guess.
just wrestling, babe. That's
Right.
all it is. I promise you. See the charge on the bill. I promise you.
Oh man, dude. So okay, I mean that's that's exciting. Both of those championship matches we got going on. We also got on the women's side. We've got Becky Lynch and Doudrop, which that to me felt like the most logical match for Becky to have at the Royal Rumble. She's already faced Bianca. She already faced Liv, and then you got Doudrop. Like okay, like let's have a new opponent. I don't see Doudrop winning this matchup, but I do think it's great for her to have this match, and I think it's great for Becky to have like that bigger opponent where it's just a little bit different of a pacing to her matchup in that sense. So what's your guys' takes on that? Bishop, let's start with you.
Yeah, same. I'm huge Becky mark, massive. Unbelievable when they
This
came
I
up.
know back when I made that Brett Baker comparison.
Oh,
but
He was like, "Oh hell no!"
I learned that the hard way.
Since you made that comparison, have I been wrong? Because Becky is on fire, dog. Becky is on
great.
fire.
She's been, look, and
but no,
I'm
look,
not
I
even
tell
going to
you,
get into it.
look,
We'll be here all night.
we will. Nah, like on the real, if you let's bring it back to the smaller point.
Yeah.
She had the story with Bianca. Bianca's better off for it since, right? She's had the story with Liv. Liv has been on a different level since. Now, I think three things happen here. One, Liv either sinks or swims away from Becky, right? That has to be proven. If Liv can sink or swim away from Becky, we now know exactly who Liv is. Two, Doudrop becomes something we haven't seen yet because she hasn't had this pro on the other side of what she's done. Doudrop's great. She's a phenomenal wrestler. I think she's awesome. I think everything she does
amazing. Yeah,
is so good. But she's never had this kind of program. A little bit with the Alexa Bliss stuff, but that was more tailored towards the relationship with Eva Marie. Like, but you got her ability to be a character, honestly, without even really talking, right? So what can she do when she has to now? And they got 3 weeks, right? Or 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, to see how the build goes. And then, I mean, Becky hasn't had a one-off match since she's been back. So does this Rumble match go into Elimination Chamber, go into the next one before Mania, and whoever wins the Rumble, that's the new one or what have you. So if we now take another couple pay-per-views or premium live events, sorry, it's going to take me a minute too. That's a tough one. It don't even roll off the tongue. Like it's a tough one. If it's going to take a couple more premium live events to get the story completely told, to see if Doudrop can make the Bianca jump, the Liv jump, then yeah, I'm absolutely all for it. Like you said, it's the natural progression of basically where the women's division is going, not just Becky and Holt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to both ladies, man, to Bianca and Becky, because I think they did an amazing job of bringing Liv and Doudrop up. Like you see what Bianca did, right? You see what Bianca did on her side. When she dropped the belt to Becky. Because I'll be real, initially I didn't like it. And I think I was just more patient to see where they was going. I saw it. I'm like, okay, they're slowly building her back up, and then there will be a need for it too. And I'm at that. Like, I know that it's going to be WrestleMania, Becky and Bianca. That's it. That's where I'm at. But she did an amazing job, having these amazing matches with Doudrop, especially in the last one. It was like, awesome. Feats of strength, just picked her up with the KOD. Wow, man. It was a great time. Shout out to Doudrop, the way she sold it too. Appreciate it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and then you got on the main event scene for the Raw Women's Championship, Becky that brought up Liv Morgan. And Liv Morgan got better as a wrestler too within this feud, which man, shout out to her because of that.
Comfortable in the ring now and just flowing.
Yes.
Yeah,
she is fluid. I'm like, wow. She is even improved with Becky.
Yep.
So that's what's up, man. So I think it's just dope and amazing.
Real champs do.
Yeah.
Real champs do.
Yeah. She bring up her team. So shout out, to Becky, man.
Conti's doing some great things too.
Yeah.
Throw that in there.
I love it.
Even though Becky ride with you fucking Seth Rollins Bears fan and all that, but nah. I didn't mean to cut you off. I didn't mean to cut you off. But you made a great point because I neglected to say that in my thing too. One of the things that Bianca has learned to do is help elevate the opponent next to her, which is something that she struggled with in NXT because she never got the opportunities. Something she struggled with on the main roster because she was always playing the B side of the matches against Bayley and against Sasha and all that stuff. So given the opportunity, and again, like you said, shouts to Bianca, but shouts to Doudrop for doing her part too. Those two ladies in what they had 3 matches.
Yeah,
we both want to see more of them afterwards. That's how it's supposed to be done.
Right. No, 100%. And I'm interested to see more range from Doudrop too, because I feel like in NXT UK, you got to see that from her in like storylines with Kaylee Ray and with Toni Storm. Real life, close friends. They came up together, and in a lot of their matchups and feuds, triple threat matches for the women's championship there, you saw her go from like the third wheel in that storyline to hey, like, do not underestimate me. Like, I'm real. I'm serious. And to see the emotion, come from her, and I thought that was really interesting. I feel like there's some potential here because Becky, Becky's gonna bring it when it comes to the promo work and tearing into, I should say, Doudrop. She'll put her over. She's really good with that, where she'll give you respect, but then still tell you you're still not on my level, though. And I feel like it's gonna be fun to watch Becky do that. And to see, I'm curious to see what Doudrop does in response on the mic against Becky. Can she show that range, with these promos? Because with Bianca, I feel like a lot of it for me in ring was strong. It was awesome, and there was a little bit of like, Doudrop saying like, hey, she's getting all these opportunities, but I don't know. I feel like there's still more that Doudrop has to offer, when it comes to storytelling and promo work and all that, and I think with Becky, that's like the ultimate test right now in WWE. Like, that's the final boss when it comes to the women's division and promo battles. Like, that's it. So yeah, no, facts, man. Like, I got to give it there, man, for sure. So I am very, very intrigued in this matchup, and I think that just the even more so than the Royal Rumble match itself, I'm really interested in the journey. The journey to get there, like what that story looks like, man. I think that could be really cool. Awesome. As far as the Road to Royal Rumble, man, we kind of got through a lot of the things that I wanted to talk about. I guess one thing that's kind of standing out, well, 2 things that are standing out. I'm not as excited to talk about really, but we're going to go ahead because, it's the show. Got to get the people, let them know we're thinking about certain things. So, Omos, I'm concerned, man. I gotta say, I don't know if this is gonna work out, and it pains me because this is a Nigerian brother, and I'm Nigerian, man. I mean, one of my nicknames, Nigerian Nightmare, over here on the show. I'm rooting for him, but I'm watching him, and he's doing stuff with Reggie now, with the 24/7 thing going on, and Reggie running into him, and next week he's gonna have a match with Reggie, and he did that squash match on Raw, and it really wasn't. Like, usually those matches, you're supposed to be like, oh, wow, damn, oh, my God. And I didn't feel that at all. It felt like it was going almost too slow, like he was posing too much, and he just needed to just be vicious, get in and get out. Like, smash and leave. Like, basically, like, just hurry up and win. Just read a Roman Reigns t-shirt and go out and do what that thing says. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he needed to do. And it just didn't feel that way. And there was a little bit of a goof up, but I let that go with the whole, like, should I do the height thing? Should I do the height thing? It's fine. It's whatever. That's more of a production issue. Like, that's their fault. That's not his fault, I would say. But, overall, I just felt like I just felt concerned watching him on Raw this week, and I think, I forget who it was, but somewhere out there on one of the other podcasts, they were saying, like, oh, don't be surprised if you see him in the 24/7 chase by the end of the year. I said, oh my God, please no. Do not let that be the case for him, because that's it. If he's back there with the rest of them running around for that 24/7 championship, then what just happened? Like, this was supposed to be a guy who would be like a main eventer, and he is not. To me right now, he's so far away from that. I'm not saying it's over, but I'm concerned.
I just never thought well, when I looked at him, I think we even talked about this, like main eventer or special attraction. And I think I'm going with special attraction. And that's why I had that's why I had, in my future for him. Cause I just see how Vince booked these big guys. He'll pretend like you're good, like he did, Braun got that. Yeah, first, but that's how I think about it. And this is what Omos is, a special attraction, man.
Yeah.
They got to work on the special though, because it's not coming off like, so I remember teasing it, and I usually put my foot in my mouth pretty quick, except about Becky, so shouts. But when he showed up in the AJ stuff, I was like, oh, he's just big for no reason. He's not showing athleticism, right? And then I think it was TLC when he got hit in the back with a chair, and we started to see something. We saw a build, and then he was basically like Jason, right? He's just moving slow. Boom, you get a quick strike. Excuse me. And then it was like one of his first couple matches, he's not really doing much. And then like his fourth or fifth match in, he does a side kick, and everyone's like, oh shit, he can fucking kick people too. It's there's nothing else though. Like there's nothing to bring you in. There's no substance there. And I met the guy. We're best friends. All right. After Survivor Series, saw him at the hotel, took a picture. Seems like a nice dude. But someone who's built at 6'9", and I'm 6'1" on the best day, he wasn't towering over me. Like his stature, the way he carries himself, isn't as big as they say he is. And that could be the problem, that the attraction isn't necessarily the attraction. Braun Strowman was that, right? Braun Strowman was like the fans' favorite wrestler. And even when he got his due, things weren't clicking. Where's the special in the special attraction? And is there potential? Sure. He almost seems like a decent enough athlete. You got to put in the work. You got to do something, and I don't know what that is. AJ's not going to make everybody the greatest wrestler of all time when he leaves them, but something should have rubbed off a little bit cleaner than what we see now.
Maybe to tell more of a story in the ring. I don't expect him to be wrestling like AJ Styles, but at least pick up some more of, all right, about to see more of a body language,
the how-tos.
Exactly, man. I think they had something like that, man.
Yeah. I mean, just had to bring that up because that's definitely how Raw had me kind of left me feeling when it came to him specifically. Just that it still seems like he's got a lot of work to do. Can
I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What would be, based on what you've seen?
Yeah.
What would be your best case scenario for his booking? His particular, when he's on TV and does a thing, not just the squash match like you laid out, but like for his success, what would that role be?
Man, best case scenario. That's a great question. Like, what is the best case scenario as far as like let's say I was just trying to book him right now and trying to make him like, the guy going forward. I think they had something. I mean, Bobby Lashley's busy, but there was something there when him and Bobby like had a face to face, where it's going to take something like that where you're like, damn, these two unstoppable force, immovable object kind of scenario. I think that's what it's going to take. Because right now, my first taste of him doing, because this is the thing they do the squash matches. My first taste of that was like, nah, I don't need to see that again. Like, it just wasn't entertaining to me, and then there's not too many people where he can have a one-on-one matchup that you say, oh, there's a chance that this guy can. No, the way you built him up, the New Day as a tag team couldn't even beat him. How am I supposed to believe one dude is supposed to take him on? Like it doesn't make sense. Maybe a Randy Orton, because he's a veteran, he's cerebral, he could, try to get in his head and, break him down a little bit, maybe. But Bobby, that kind of a matchup, or even a Big E, someone like that to where you're like, this is a powerful dude that, maybe we could see something. Let's see a test of strength between Omos and this guy or that guy. I think that's best case scenario right now. I think Bobby is the number one that comes to mind.
I think with me, I'll switch brands with him. He can go to SmackDown. It's, just the quality of heavyweights there that if he was to do something with Sheamus, Sheamus will get him up to speed. I think he's a great starter to see what type of big man you have.
Yeah.
And I think and then he can just go from there. Maybe Happy Corbin, then Drew McIntyre, then
Drew. Yeah, I like
exactly.
that. I like that.
Yeah. So I
And
think
Corbin
I would just
too. Yeah, I can see that.
yeah, I think I would just take him out and put him in with more of the big guys where they're at. I believe, which is SmackDown. So I think it's just more of a fit for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and one of the cliche things to do too is like, give him a manager, to be his mouthpiece, like a Paul Heyman type or, MVP type. I don't know who that would be, for him necessarily. Cause I don't want it to be Paul Heyman or MVP because they've already got their guys.
What if it's Malcolm Bivens?
You know what? That's not actually a bad call. I like that.
I like
that.
What he's doing in 2.0, by the way, man. He's doing some great shit. And when you mentioned, I'm like, you don't want to see anybody that you saw before, and I'm thinking Malcolm Bivens.
That's a good one. Yeah. That dude is great. That dude is hilarious. So okay, yeah, I like that. So yeah, pair him with Bivens. Putting him on SmackDown, I'm cool with that too. I think that'd be good. I think that worked out.
I like the idea of him working with the bigger guys because I think that might be the sacrifice that he made of working with AJ is not learning how his body works in the ring. I always give Baron Corbin credit for that, where a lot of people shit on him. It's like, if one thing Baron Corbin knows, he knows footwork. He knows how to use his arms, his legs, because he's been a guy playing football. He was a boxer. He knows where to put his size. So as soon as you said SmackDown, Corbin hit me in the head. I was like, oh yes, he needs to work with someone comparable to his size, so he knows how to move himself in the ring.
Yeah.
Him on SmackDown would probably be better.
Yeah. I like that a lot. All right. Nikki A.S.H. turns heel. All right. So I could kind of see that coming. The way that they were doing their, we got an announcement and Rhea's, saying, hey, no, we ain't gonna, go after the tag team titles anymore. We're done with that. Like, we're done as a team. Respect you, but thanks, no thanks. I think I feel like Nikki, my favorite version of her was, in NXT
Nikki
when
Cross.
she was, just that wild character. It was just so entertaining, and they've changed her in the first place. I thought was kind of a mistake. When she went with Alexa Bliss, I get it. Get what you're trying to do there. But, I think slowly getting her back to that version of her from NXT will be kind of cool. Or maybe, I don't know if there's going to be a blend of like this superhero character and that character. But, I think that now this is the time. Hey, let's go back to what she was, what made her, popular in the first place, and just let her let loose. Like, I want to see that loose cannon Nikki. And I'll never forget when her and Shayna Baszler fought at TakeOver. And I was there and I was all in. I was all in on Nikki winning the title. And she gets caught up in the Cure For You to Clutch. And she starts smiling and going to sleep.
So good.
And I said, no, everybody, we're like, no, Nikki, no. And sure enough, she went out and I'm like, wow, her performance there in that match and just in general in NXT, I thought was just so like, it was just so charismatic in her own way. And to see that come back in some way would be really cool. So that's the thing I'm most excited about with this heel turn is maybe we get to that. Now, do we get that? I don't know, because she's saying, hey, almost a superhero doesn't need friends. So I guess she's sticking with the superhero thing, at least for a little bit, almost a super villain, maybe, we get to that. So, but what are your thoughts on this whole heel turn for Nikki Bishop? Let's go with you.
Yeah, I mean, I called it out myself a couple episodes back on the Terrible Wrestling Takes podcast, HeelTakesPodcast.com for all platforms, that almost a supervillain is a natural progression, especially in how she's reacting to what's going on. And it's a great way to, honestly, like, I get what you're saying. I know, Hafeez, you're very beholden to the things that you love early. But if you take the progression of Nikki, because I was huge in that. Want to play Nikki's my favorite Nikki. Want to play? Want to, like, let's play. When she came up to challenge Becky, was like, I'll play Becky. I want to play. I was like, oh my God, I'm going nuts. But the progression of everything she's done, if you take that character and you turn her into a supervillain, like, that's that's the magic, because we know Nikki exists best, at least presentation wise, when she's unhinged.
Yeah.
But just being a psychopath doesn't really get you anywhere. Like Seth was doing that for a little bit, and it felt so flat with the before he really hit the Messiah part of it, when he's going after Rey Mysterio and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's doing this psycho thing, and it's not really at it. He's progressed, and he's taken all those things, and who he is now is fucking incredible. And there's a chance that Nikki could get there if she really does lock in the character. So I would love it. I would love a super villain of her, and the way they've treated her since the change in getting her to be on TV, get the reps. We already know she can wrestle her ass off, but she gets so much mic time. She gets so much character work. Now we're investing into everything across the board. If she nails one, bang, we got something to invest into. 1,000%. I mean, that's the Roman effect now, right? Like a lot of people on and off of Roman for so long. He nailed down this tribal chief character, and whether you want to boo him or cheer him, you understand that what we got is something special. And if Nikki can get to that level just based on the character, drop it to be the ones. It's one of my favorite parts of your show. Is every time it comes up, drop it to be the ones.
Always.
It's no, I think it would be great. I think it's an awesome move for her. Shouts to NXT. I believe they were supposed to have a fatal 4-way, and it turned into a triple threat with Asuka, Nikki, and I think Ruby Riott. And it was just one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. I've never seen women put themselves through a car crash like that. And they just laid it all out for the cause. Shouts to Asuka. I miss Asuka. But yeah, if this is where this is going, I'm all in.
Funny fact, before we move to Devin. So when you brought up Asuka, I actually was just recently, I was like, what's going on with Asuka? I want to see if I can get any news on Asuka, because I was thinking maybe she'd come back in Royal Rumble if everything's okay. And then I came across something that said, is Asuka a twin? I'm like, what is this? And so, I'm looking it up, and there's a bunch of different posts like, Asuka's a twin. I'm like, first, this has got to be bullshit, because there's no way Vince McMahon would have had, done a storyline where there's two of them. It'd be Doink the Clown all over again, both of them looking at each other, pantomiming and all that. It wouldn't happen. But for a minute, I did get excited about it. I was like, did I miss this all this time? Like, she's been a twin and I just haven't noticed? What the fuck? So, so I went on this little rabbit hole of trying to do the detective work and figure out what the hell's going on. Dude, look it up. Is Asuka twin? Is pretty funny. That journey I went on was an interesting one. But no, Asuka is not a twin. At the end of it, I figured it out. But it was funny for a hot minute, though. Anyway,
how much time did you spend on this? I want to know.
No, it wasn't much time at all. We're talking probably 15 minutes.
Okay. You're going down this rabbit hole.
I was like, what?
You keep going and going like,
the whole time I'm like, nah. Huh? They got another name? What? No. So yeah, it was pretty fun. But yeah, man, Devin, we're talking about Nikki A.S.H, almost a super villain. What's your thoughts on this?
I think I'm more intrigued with this work for Rhea Ripley.
I was gonna ask about that,
because that's why I'm looking at it. Because I'm always, I love characters, but I'm always intrigued in the story. So with this story work, because now they have a little history. They have, it was friends. They was tag team champions. They couldn't get it. They keep on getting smashed by Carmella, Queen Zelina. Is what it is. All right. Now you see Nikki flip the switch. Like, hey, I don't fuck with you no more. It is what it is. So now I'm like, all right, with this work for both of them, but I'm more worried about Rhea Ripley. Can we get Rhea Ripley back up where she used to be, where she started? Because her stock has, I'm gonna be real,
it's dropped.
Exactly.
It's plummeted.
Yes.
It's crazy, because her, when she was still in NXT, you were thinking, oh man, it's only a matter of time. When she gets called up, she's going against Charlotte, she's going against Becky, against all the, four horsewomen basically. And, you were excited about it. And now I find myself like, yeah, I'm concerned. I think that this whole thing, I'm looking at it through the lens of, this is to help Nikki, to just evolve the character a little bit more. With Rhea, I feel like she's, a cog in this story, but it doesn't feel like it's really about her anymore. It feels like it's about Nikki. So I am concerned, like, hey, okay, we do all this work to get Nikki over as this new character, whatever it's going to be, but what does that do for Rhea in the long term? It's going to be something I'm watching. I'm a big fan of Rhea, so I'm hoping that they do a thing where they both elevate each other. And if they tell a great story, it is absolutely possible. Yeah. So hopefully they do that. But I think too, when you look at that, it's so funny because Nikki was like, saying something about being jealous about, one of us being the better wrestler. And, Rhea's like, I never think about that. And he's like, no, I was talking about me. I'm the better wrestler. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, what? Okay, that's good. I like that. But you look at them, and I think everybody probably, especially the way they were telling that story, it's like, hey, Rhea is the more, just the better wrestler, the more established wrestler, and should like in a one-on-one matchup, she's going to be the favorite, So I wonder how having how do I say this? The villain character, who's also an underdog in the matchup, how does that work? It's usually the other way around. Where Rhea would have been the heel on a traditional way, but they've kind of flipped this. Mm-hmm. So how do you work it to where you help Rhea be, I guess, a true face when she's such a favorite? And how do you make, Nikki be a true heel, but she's going to be an underdog in this matchup that they're going to have eventually? It's going to be interesting to watch.
I think they character work and storytelling, right? Yeah. It's character work and storytelling, and if they can get you there on the mic, then by all means,
Yeah. I think it's got to be emotional, like the story has to be there, but I think the the emotional impact, like Nikki just tearing at Rhea to where Rhea, you see it affecting her emotionally. Like she really was like, we were friends, like we were sisters. And you're breaking my heart with this. And Nikki just not giving a fuck, and just like, this is what it is. Like, I think there is where you start to feel for Rhea, regardless of the size. It's more like, damn, man, like she did you like that? Oh, like you can't help but care, in a situation where someone, is heartbroken and you like that character. So I think that's the way I'm hoping that they play it, and not just like Nikki's going to cheat to win and, do all that like that. No, I don't know. That's going to get old to me, but emotionally, I think is where they could grab me there. So yeah, man, going to be interesting. Now I know one of the things that I have down here is, people we'd like to see in the Rumble, just like surprise entrance and others. And I know you don't like the fantasy book, but that's just one thing on my mind right now too.
It's our show.
Yeah.
I know where I came to. It's all good. I know where I came to.
Man. So
I'm here for the cause. We got this.
Man. Appreciate you. So yeah, just who are some people that we're excited about potentially being in the Royal Rumble? They've named some people on the women's side. On the men's side, I mean, we have our speculations, but obviously Big E.
I got to put my fantasy book hat on.
There we go.
Fantasy book hat on.
So on both sides, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the women's side first. They've said a lot of names already, but what are some other names that'd be cool to see them make a return here?
It's Bayley and Ronda. On the women's side. The Rumble that Ronda debuted was in Philly, and I'm in Delaware, so it's only a 30-minute drive. And I almost bought tickets, and I was like, there was only one available, and the wife and the kid, and it's like, she's like, nah, just go. And I'm like, I don't know. And then the whole Rumble, it was a really good one, a really good Rumble, and I'm like, it's all right that I didn't go. The wife goes upstairs to bed. As soon as she hits the landing, Ronda's music hits. I'm like, you get down here. I'm losing my shit. And look, for whatever anybody wants to say about her initial run, facts are facts. She was incredible inside the ring. The character wasn't really there, but inside the ring, the work she put in and all the shit she talks on the business, a la the way CM Punk did, reports are she has so much respect for the ladies. She's such a fan, and the work that they put in together, she's not disrespecting. She is being honest when she says, oh, yeah, fake fights for fun. Like, legit. But that's also because she's been punched and kicked in the face repeatedly, for real.
Right.
So you got to take it who it's coming from, you know? I would love to see Bayley and Ronda come back. If Bayley's healthy, I don't know if Bayley's healthy yet, but she's been popping off on Twitter too. So, and that Twitter game's strong.
Yeah. I'm with you, Bishop, man. But with me, I just want Bayley. That is it. I just give me Bayley, and I'll be happy about the women's side of the Rumble because I dearly miss her. I miss her presence. I miss her energy, her confidence. Just let you know she's the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion. Yes. She let you know every time.
Yes. I need Michael Cole there. I need her to go straight to Michael.
First Grand Slam Women's Champion too.
Yes.
She was the first one to bring that up. Yeah, she's incredible.
God, I miss it, man. And her wrestling was it was on point. Her and the Hell in a Cell with Bianca, love that.
Yeah,
love that, man. Because she even elevated Bianca in that match too. So she did her thing. So I miss that, and that's what I need. I miss the character of Bayley, and I just want to see if she's gonna get involved. Will she be like top 4 or final 4, final 3? But I want to see Bayley. Just give me the ding dong, give me the pyro, all that shit. The crowd will pop too.
Yeah. If she's there, I think she's winning. I think it's her and Charlotte at the end, and she tosses out Charlotte, setting up their matchup at WrestleMania. Charlotte really doesn't have a storyline going into WrestleMania now, other than she wants to give an opportunity. And so it's like, okay, we'll see. And of course, Toni Storm, unfortunately, she decided, hey, let me out of this contract. But Bayley and Charlotte, I mean, we've seen it before, but I would love to see that again in WrestleMania. And, Bayley's return, oh my God, that'd be so cool. So I'm with you guys there. I feel like Trish Stratus, I don't know if they officially said it, but I've been hearing like maybe she would be in it. I know they already said Lita. So those usual suspects.
Bella Twins.
The Bella Twins being in it too is like, that's really cool. It'll be interesting. I mean, Molly Holly, I'm guessing. I don't think they said that, but she's going to be there. It's going to happen. But Bayley was the number one for me. Ronda is one where I keep thinking she's going to show up. And and then it doesn't happen. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just stop because I'm gonna just keep saying this until I'm blue in the face. And
that's why I don't fantasy book, man. When you hope for something that doesn't happen, and you get let down.
Expectations.
You did it to yourself. You do it to yourself.
I know it's not her fault. That's me.
It's like thinking Justin Fields is gonna change your franchise. It's not.
Hold on, bro. That's a low blow.
Oh, man.
That's a low blow. It's a low blow.
Justin.
Right.
So draft night. I'm texting with my buddy who I said is a Chicago fan, and I'll pick 3 happen. I was like, yo, it might be a good time to trade up and get Justin Fields. I wanted y'all to get Justin Fields. Like I said, man, it's better when we're both good. Yeah. But his college tape, his workout tapes look more impressive than any quarterback in the draft. So I was ready for it. Yeah. And then I think wherever he got picked, it was like, I think pick 10. I was like, yo, this might be a good time to trade up. And y'all didn't trade up. I think it was a 12 or 13. I was like, yo, y'all trading up right now. Y'all getting Justin Fields. It's a good look. It's a good look. He just you got to stay healthy. But, y'all got a lot of work to do. But in the end, I think he's the right one for you.
Yeah.
We're real over here about it. It ain't there yet, but it's getting there. I know y'all.
Give it time. Be patient. Be patient.
Be patient. When it comes to the Bears,
you can be patient for a non-scripted sport. Be patient. All right.
Yeah, you can't will this one into existence.
Exactly. No, we can't just be like, yes. No, it don't work that way. Oh man, that's great. All right, on the men's side, who are some names, man? Who are some people that you'd like to see show up in this Rumble?
I'd like to see Braun Strowman come back.
Ooh.
He's not signed to anyone. He's doing the thing. He looks phenomenal. Bray's one of my favorite wrestlers, but I'm gonna let his existence happen in how he feels like it. Because whatever the fuck he does, he deserves it. He's such an incredible mind for not just the business, but storytelling alone. Again, when you can take adults and get them to invest into, the Fiend was the most absurd character of all time, and we bought in. And we bought in. and then his ability to go nuance with all that shit. It's like, so of course I would love him to come back, but I actually think there's a chance Braun Strowman music hits. Other than that, because I don't fancy book, there's nothing on the top of my head like of who could, but yeah, I would say Braun probably the only one.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, me, I'm thinking I'm with Bishop. I don't have anybody on top of my head because I'm just so keen on Big E because I know I feel that he's gonna get his big comeuppance.
Yeah.
And that's what he needs. He needs a Royal Rumble win to just really skyrocket his stock because I said this before. When he cashed in at Money in the Bank, to me that was a bit of a weak move because you're a face. You know what I'm saying? You caught Bobby at a weak, opportune time too. At that, it wasn't like like he knows he's cashing like Braun did. Like I think he cashed, but he gave the heads up. He didn't do any heads up. He came in. I'm like, all right, man, you got like a bad knee. I'm gonna take you out. Here we go, and that's what it was. And then he tried doing this thing outside, with the championship as well. So big shout out to him for that. But I think this is what he needs, man. He needs a Royal Rumble win, man.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking about Big E for this.
I feel you. I mean, I guess I'm surprised, Devin, that you didn't mention like a Braun Breaker, like showing up in the Rumble.
Yeah, I don't.
Really? I feel like it makes sense for him to show up, and I don't even think that'd be like a big surprise, but that's somebody that it would make sense. Like, hey, the way that they're trying to use NXT as this NXT 2.0 as this developmental now, when they've had Grayson Waller showing up, on Raw and, the whole thing with AJ, like it would make sense that, Rick Steiner's son, put him, in the Rumble, have him throw a bunch of people out, make it to like the final four, let's say, and really put this guy over. Because less than a year, this guy's going to be on the main roster. It's going to happen. Like he's like right there.
I say he's future face of the company.
Yeah, I could see that.
He's so incredible.
Yeah,
dude, at his age is what blows my mind.
Right?
Fucking 24, and his only weakness is that he hasn't done this long enough to believe he can do this all the time.
Right.
But everything he does is it's not perfect, but it's clean, and you don't see the holes. Is it perfect? Is it outrageous? No, but it doesn't miss. But it's straightforward. It's entertaining, and he's fucking good. But he's 24.
Yeah,
like
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I think to me it would be it would just be a lost opportunity right now with the momentum he's starting to build to not have him in this right now and start to really like get it in the like the main audience's minds. Hey, there's this guy, that is on the horizon. He's coming.
Right.
Like, watch out. So I feel like he makes a lot of sense. You mentioned Bray, that came into my mind. Like, I would lose my mind literally if they started playing that music because I'm thinking he's out. But what if he did come back or Braun Strowman again? I don't know if I'd lose my mind about Braun Strowman, but I feel like it'd be cool to see him. I would hear
that music, Braun.
Yeah.
And situationally in the match, who's in the ring at the time that music goes off, and then Braun's about to do work and how it's going to look.
Right.
That's where I went with it. One name popped in my head, Walter. I would love to see Walter. Main roster Rumble. Let's get it going. That. There's so many opponents he can do good work with.
Definitely.
And I think he's ready. He's another guy. He's just so fucking good. He would have gotten my male wrestler of the year if I saw him in more than 2 matches last year. Like, if those 2 matches were actually closer to the end of the year, he may have been, all right, he would have been like 1C. There would have been no 1B because 1A, Tribal Chief would have won. Well, Walter's incredible, man. He's such a great wrestler. So I'd love to see him at the main roster.
Yeah, I like that pick for Walter. And shout out to him, man. He got in shape, man. He got a little baby abs showing now. Yeah. If you would watch 2.0, you would know that.
Hey.
By the way. He got baby abs.
I'm good, man. I'm a wait.
At least 4.
I should not just watch NXT UK. It's cool. I'll just see him there.
Now no more.
Coming up. He's got one more. And then I'll just wait to see if he goes to the main roster. It's all good. Triple H.
But also your Braun Breaker idea, I think to your point, if Braun Breaker shows up in the Rumble and you're watching the Rumble and Braun Breaker gets eliminated by the NXT talent and they make it compelling, you may turn into NXT to watch that feud or that match. So they could not just take an opportunity and go small picture, because you're saying big picture. Put this guy on the front so you're ready 2 years from now.
Right.
But also the short term, they could easily try to get eyeballs to go over to 2.0.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah, I like
Fantasy
that.
book.
I like that a lot too. I mean, you might as well, at this point, like just you're again the Grayson Waller stuff that you're doing right now. I mean, bring in Carmelo Hayes, have him show up, just really start to get those names to be more mainstream, but then allow people to say, hey, look, I'll give it a shot. That's just smart marketing, really. Just to get them out there on Royal Rumble. The one forbidden door, I guess, one for me actually would be Chris Jericho. That they had him do the podcast with Stone Cold, so which blew my mind. I couldn't believe that they even agreed to do that with him still actively in AEW.
Stone Cold called up Vince, and Vince was like,
made it happen, right?
Yeah,
so
right,
it would be amazing to see that happen. I heard one about John Moxley, which that's not going to happen.
No,
He's even going through his own stuff with rehab, so that's not going on. But Jericho, I think if I were to reach for one, it would be that one. But I think Braun Breaker, I think that's gonna happen.
What about Moose?
I'm pretty sure.
Moose?
No,
Moose.
Look, man, Moose has got a physique. Moose does this thing in Impact. I'm not gonna hate on Moose. The promo work. Look, man, he
would get eviscerated by the tribal chief for doing the promo. He better not stop. Like, he will eat this man up for breakfast.
I don't care if you're the head of the table. I don't care if you call yourself the man, the boss. This man, I was like, what the
It was so bad, I saw it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. I'm like, what is this man doing? Stop.
Well, Hafeez first brought it up. Our instant reaction, we just laughed. He's like, what you think of the Moose promo? I just laughed. That's what it was. I'm like, seriously?
Like,
you know what? Shouts to his confidence, though, right? Shouts to his confidence. You know what I mean?
There we go. Yeah.
Do you, Moose?
Right.
Do you? Oh, man. All right. Well, on that note, that's all I got as far as topics, man. Like, this has been a lot of fun. Overall.
Bonus topic, though. Bonus.
Bonus. Okay.
Bonus.
Bonus. Go ahead.
Bishop. So break it down, man, about 2.0, man. Like, what do you like about it? What's your case for it?
Look,
why people should watch it?
I see
why people should watch it.
Take the fantasy book.
There we go. Right. Reality.
Oh my goodness.
No, look, I've said it from the gate, and I think Deb, you did a great job of relaying my thoughts on your show. Because again, I listen podcast platform all the time, and y'all took a couple weeks off. And I was like, we did. It's good. You know what I'm saying?
Apologize.
No, it's all good, man. Life gets in the way, and it's the fact that we get to do this, to be honest, it's so cool. You know what I mean? I think you guys are firmly in the community of wrestling that we do. You guys have guests on all the time. You interact with so many people. You understand how cool this is just to do a thing that, and I think one of the first things I said to you guys, y'all laugh so much on here, and having that good time, that good energy. Come on, man. What else?
Right.
Don't matter what you're talking
all
about. Just come in and have good vibes. So I appreciate 2.0 being the reason that you're like, I got to get this guy on the show. Because I've been listening ever since you tagged me, like, yo, that 2.0 take was what's up. And I'm like, okay, let me tune in. What is he saying? Okay, we in here. So, from the beginning. And again, I do respect the black and gold of it, right? And I think it was you guys' last episode where you said, if it's not called the 3 letters of NXT, it might feel different. But having it kind of be a new coat of paint on top of something that existed beforehand is what makes it a bad taste in your mouth. Completely agree. But again, the way I do it on Terrible Wrestling Takes is I take it for what it is, not what I want it to be. So I can't I can't fix any of it. I just got to sit down and watch. Now, if I sit down and watch like an AEW and I don't stay invested, so I'm like, I'm good. That's what AEW is doing to me.
Right.
They're not bad because they're not WWE. They're bad because I don't like it. So that's more than fine. But if 2.0 is bad because it's not black and gold, that's an on you take. That's an on you. You know what I'm saying? So when I first saw 2.0, I thought the same thing. This weak ass in living color graphics. You know what I'm saying? They gonna play this up to try to be, fun, vibrant, and they don't understand that it's 2020s, not 1990. And it didn't come off that way after the first segment, and then the second segment, and then the third segment. I'm like, wait a second, did we just watch every single segment a veteran with a rookie? Oh, we did. Oh, we're getting training on TV. We're getting character development week after week after week. So, and again, when I say same energy here, when NXT was black and gold and AEW came up, the AEW of it was saying, yo, NXT is just developmental. This just developmental. It was never developmental. It was a polished product. Because all them black and golds that were developmental are now at AEW, and y'all like, yo, this that shit now. We got all that.
Right.
Come on now. Like, again, same energy. Same energy. So if y'all don't want to keep the same energy, then apologize for what was happening for a whole year with black and gold being there. Because you could have enjoyed it the same. So back to the 2.0 of it, it's developmental on TV, but you get to choose what you want to invest in. Tony D'Angelo's first 3 promos. I mean, you guys are in Chicago. He's an Italian guy from Chicago. Do you know what Tony D'Angelo? You know what I'm saying? So, like, when you see him and you're like, okay, I get this guy. He might be a little bit up. Then he gets in the ring, and I'm like, oh, shit. This guy can go. He can wrestle his ass off. And then the next week, he tones down the character some. But he wrestles even harder, and you're like, damn. So that whole storytelling that we were talking about earlier, are they giving us character work? Are they giving us in-ring wrestling? What is it? We're watching the maturation. There's a character, Joe Gacy, who came out as some crazy, social justice warrior type character where, like, it's all positivity, but he was doing it as a heel, inclusivity, like, all that bullshit. And there was so much rage around this character. It made the fucking New York Times. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were writing about this stuff, about how they're putting this. I think
it made it Fox News too as well.
Yeah, so they're going week after week, adjusting that character into a cult leader who is like semi-likable, but then again, he's doing everything from this perspective in a sinister way. Oh, by the way, he can wrestle his ass off too. So you get presented these new characters, these new performers, these new wrestlers, and if you take them for what they are, and you go along for the ride, you can jump off. Grayson Waller, fucking hated him until War Games. He gets into War Games and he shows out. Okay. He tones down his theatrics, and then he's calling out AJ Styles. AJ Styles shows up. They had an awesome fucking match. It wasn't just AJ that did it. Grayson Waller got some moves, man. He does that. He does a jump through the ropes into a roll, into a stunner. That when we talk about fluidity in wrestling, how do you do that? I thought Sami Zayn's like dive through the ropes,
through the
was the dopest thing. He jumps up, rolls it to. He's an incredible athlete that I hated because his persona sucked. He's a boxer, a rapper, a basketball player, all in one.
Reality star too, because he was on some Big Brother
he's
Australia.
Wearing boxing trunks, and he does a Muhammad Ali dance. Yeah, he's from Australia. Yeah, he does a Muhammad Ali dance, but his finisher is a double through the legs elbow. Like, what are you? And then he comes out bopping like he's hip hop, and I'm like, pick one, man. What's your and the character can be completely out. He gets in the ring, shows out, tones down the character, bang, we got something. He's gonna be a star, but he's a star off the strength of learning on TV. That's all 2.0 is. And if you're not down for going along for the ride, like that's fine. But it's not bad because it's not black and gold. It's really good at being 2.0. Another perfect example is Braun Breaker. He shows up. Oh, that's Rick Steiner's kid. Call him Steiner. Well, if you don't focus on the name, or if you say he sucks, you don't want to watch him because of his name, and you miss out on all the greatness that we're getting. And I use greatness loosely, but for what it is, it's really fucking good. Well, they should call him Scott. They should just call him Steiner. They just call him Steiner. Well, no, you're doing a disservice to yourself by not watching this guy become a potential star. You know, when I was I 94, I was 9. Reasonable Doubt comes out, right? I'm not a Jay-Z guy. I don't know, fuck that. You know, Hard Knock Life comes out and he's undeniable, right? It wasn't until like the Blueprint where I was like, yo, this Jay-Z guy's pretty good. I didn't go along for the ride. I had to back catalog it. Now there's a certain style of Jay-Z that I like that, his earlier stuff I just don't because I wasn't there for the ride. So when you take that ride, like there's platinum albums I will listen to. But now when you go along for the ride of the maturation, you can find yourself invested. Now, again, fair point. WWE does like to pull the rug out from underneath people. You invest yourself into a Tony Storm, she gets the opportunity, you're excited, all of a sudden she's got to bounce. You know what I mean?
Right,
so
right.
It is fair to say you don't want to waste time investing. You'd rather go for the polished product. I have so much fun watching 2.0, man, because you see it happen. Hey, you know what? Watch Justin Fields in 4 years. You know what I'm saying? When he's a better quarterback. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. So, you get to watch the developmental in a way where they're not failing either. So like Grayson Waller is now on with AJ Styles, and spoiler alert, LA Knight is in there too.
Yeah.
And he's getting better because of who he's working with. And they're not letting them fail. We talked about the Becky effect. She's not letting Bianca fail. Bianca's now in a position where she's not going to let Doudrop fail. You guys talking about Rhea Ripley. I didn't even jump in. That's the Charlotte effect. She doesn't make the opposite side better. Unfortunately, as talented and as athletic as she is, she doesn't make the other side better. She has a track record of people tanking after programs with her, from Asuka to Rhea to, Sasha's the only one to hold her own. And she was over before she stepped in the ring with her. So anyway,
yeah, that's true.
Having what we're getting now, though, in 2.0 is the veteran is leading the way, but the rookie is coming out better because of it. So it's my most fun watching. It's not drama investing like a SmackDown is. It's not teeth pulling like a Raw is, and it's not overstimulation like AEW is. But it's fun, man. I have fun watching.
I do like the quick pace of stories that they tell. That they get you in and get you out, especially what they did with Braun Breaker and Tommaso Ciampa. Like, what was that third time that they wrestled? When
if you include War Games, yeah.
If you So I like to set up how he won and you beat Black and Gold, but Tommaso took the pin. I'm like, okay, they setting up, because I just remember when Raquel Gonzalez did that to Io right before she got the belt. So I feel like they were just following suit, but I like that it was setting up for the finale of their match, which was, I think it was a banger, man. Like,
so
like,
good.
Please, if you could please just check it out.
You already know. And look, first of all, I want to say, because I kept quiet this whole time, because I wanted to give y'all the time to, say what you got to say, because there's that perspective of it, which I take nothing away from. Like, you're enjoying it for what it is. You're enjoying the ride of seeing these young, up and coming talents grow into these stars that hopefully they do become on the main roster. And it's more connected, where it's truly developmental versus, we're the A show, like Tommaso Ciampa likes to say. It's not really that anymore. It's like clearly like, hey, we're trying to use this as the much like they did with OVW and some of their other, territories. Like, hey, let's just develop these guys for the specific purpose of sending them to Raw or SmackDown to then, become stars and all that. My issue with it really doesn't have to do with, NXT 2.0 being that. It's more so the fact that, okay, we're saying, we're changing things up because of the Wednesday Night Wars. There was no real Wednesday Night Wars.
It's never a war, man.
They didn't really. I mean, even if you look at it, like, you have the two, they're both they're both on television on Wednesday night. But look at the marketing. Look at Grayson Waller on Raw. Look at everything that's happening right now when it comes to NXT 2.0. They didn't really do that with NXT during that whole period of time. You didn't have like Adam Cole, short of when they got stuck, out in what was the pay-per-view, Crown? Was it
one of the Saudi pay-per-views?
Yeah. They got stuck. It was like, oh shit, we need to do something. So they said, hey, they pulled NXT, they went to SmackDown, went to Raw. All of a sudden, we have Survivor Series, Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT, just almost by accident. There wasn't really that investment into NXT at that time, and then you're trying to say, well, it's they lost the war. Like, what? You didn't really try. You weren't really fighting to win a war. It was just by happens that you both are on the same channel. Okay, cool. Then you take everything, because Triple H was really passionate about NXT. He was really trying to make it his own thing, and you saw his stamp all over it, from the music to the type of wrestlers that are there. You see the Cruiserweight Classics, the Mae Young Classics. Like, he has a passion for a certain type of wrestling that he was putting out there, and I was invested in it. I loved what he was doing with that. And now it seems like what we're trying to do, with getting rid of William Regal and Road Dogg, and a lot of the talents too that he had brought in, and a lot of them, whether they were released or now even choosing to get out, it's like, hey, a lot of what he did is being erased. And it's almost like it was his fault that it didn't win. And so now we're erasing everything that he had done. And it's just like, that just feels shitty. Like, to your point about something I had said last week, if you change it and you don't try to, call it NXT, call it something else, I look at it as something totally different then. But it's like you're trying to replace what they were trying to do then, and that's where I have a certain bad taste in my mouth. 100%. Because for me, again, I'm watching it and I'm loving what it is they're doing. And for you to tell me that, we have to, this is the 2.0 version of that, feels wrong. It's not. It's something completely different. You're doing your own thing. If you approach it that way, like, hey, we're doing our own thing. This is, NXT Black and Gold. We're retiring it. We're moving on. Shout out to Triple H. Thank you for all your work and all this. We're going to do something different for us. Or, hey, Triple H, you know what? You go and do your thing with NXT, and we're going to do this whole other thing, OVW 2.0 or whatever. Cool. But it's like, you want to kind of have the NXT Black and Gold fan base stick around, so you're still calling it NXT, and you're going to have Tommaso Ciampa bring up Braun and have Kyle O'Reilly bring up Von Wagner and all these guys, and it's just like, no, like, what do y'all, like, I can't get with that, like, it just, it just bugs me, so it's not to say, like, I'll catch, some of what Braun Breaker is doing in, like, clips, and see things here and there, but watching the first episode, I saw the first episode, I'm like, let me just see what they're going to try to do, because I had no idea what it was going to be, and I'm seeing it, and it felt hollow, I'm watching, I'm like,
that's fair.
It was just so hollow. I'm like, oh man, like, what is going on?
I wasn't a fan of it.
And I get what you guys are saying now in terms of, like, seeing the progression and seeing the growth and all that. But for me, I'm so, I guess just that loyalty to what Triple H tried to accomplish, and seeing, like, almost that communication of, we're going to erase what Triple H did, and any semblance, any connection to Triple H, we're trying to erase that, feels almost disrespectful to what he had done. Like, just don't even use that name. Like, make it something completely different. And I'm starting to really come around to that idea. Like, that would probably help me a lot, because you're leaving it alone. You're not trying to call it like it's a better version of NXT. Like, no, it's just a different version of NXT. It's a different thing, period. It's not even a version of NXT. It's just a different thing, period. It's a developmental piece where we get to see them grow up and become stars. Whatever you want to call it, fine. But I don't know. I can't get over the idea, and I'm riding with Triple H. I'm riding with William Regal and Road Dogg and that crew, because I feel like what they try to do. Yeah, like, it's just I'm riding with the examples I keep bringing up on the show. There's two, and I'll keep saying them because they feel the most true to me. They're nerdy as hell, but whatever. Young Justice, that DC animated show, real popular, with a lot of us fans. was more of a grittier version of the Teen Titans DC team or whatever. A lot of people loved it, but Cartoon Network said, you know what, we're gonna go a different direction, go more for the kids, make it brighter, sell toys. And so they switched it up. And a lot of us were like, what the fuck? We loved Young Justice. What's going on?
Yeah.
And so you made it more of like a kid-friendly thing. Pissed a lot of us off, but then they brought back Young Justice, and now both exist. That's cool. You've got a video game reference, and a guy, Hideo Kojima, made Metal Gear Solid, right? And I don't know, Bishop, if you're familiar with Metal Gear Solid, the game.
I've listened to you tell the story, so I'll listen again.
Okay. So you know through me, right? So Hideo Kojima makes Metal Gear, becomes a worldwide, sensation, but they just butt heads. And Konami's just like, all right, we're taking your name off of this. Everything that's related to you, that's connected to you, your name is off of this. I feel like that's a lot of how I feel about what they're doing to Triple H. And it just feels like, damn, that's just shitty, man. Like, y'all doing him like that. Like, I feel like, honestly, if he wasn't married to Stephanie, he's probably released too. The way this is all going, which, like, honestly, I feel like that's what's keeping him in, is he's family, but it just feels like it could be done a little bit more respectfully. And I've been, thinking about this since they did, there was a tribute show to Triple H that they did where it just felt a little bit off. Vince McMahon comes out and he's, just shitting on Triple H, and then they turn the lights out at the end. He didn't even get to say like closing remarks. It was just over with. I'm like, what is going on, man? Like, is Vince trying to, in a roundabout way, tell Triple H, like, I don't give a shit about you, dude.
Still
Like,
my company at the end of the day.
Right. It's about me. It's not about you. Like, I don't know if there's something there, but but to each their own, man. Like, for people that enjoy NXT 2.0, enjoy for what it is, keep enjoying it, keep loving it. It's totally cool. It's not for me. It's not going to be for everybody. It's just not my thing. And the backstories too just make it worse. William Regal getting let go was like another like added to the fire, man. I was like, damn, now y'all went and fired. Y'all had Braun Breaker saying War Games instead of William Regal, and then you let him go. I was like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? So that's just me. But like everything y'all are saying about NXT 2.0, it's respected. I get it. I see it. It's not for me. Will I come around and watch it? No, probably not. But will I see like clips here and there of some stuff? Like I'll see Toxic Attraction on clips. I've seen stuff from Carmelo Hayes and clips.
Yeah.
I'm catching things here and there, but I just
get a little edgier too, man.
To bring myself to sit down and watch a whole episode. And Devin too, you're funny with this whole thing because you're telling me, man, just put it in the background like you do. Like half the time, I know you're not even watching the screen.
But I'm still listening. And usually I'm like, hold on. But ever since War Games, I said this.
Okay.
Ever since War Games, I have been on. I'm like,
I respect
watching.
that a little more.
I'm watching. I'm like,
just having it in the background. I don't
you
know
saw
if
me.
that really
If
counts.
you saw me tweet, I was tweeting during War Games. 'Cause I'm like, yo, this shit is fire, bro.
No, that's fair. I think for me, the whole thing is to each their own. Like, my opinion shouldn't influence anybody else's opinion on anything. I'm just, that's my stance on it. That's why I choose not to watch. If you agree with that or disagree, that doesn't matter. It's just everybody should make their own choice for what they want to see. And if you do love it and enjoy it, keep doing that. I'm not telling anybody, hey, campaign, like everyone stop watching NXT 2.0 because they're doing my boy Triple H wrong. I'm not saying that. No, man.
Got this
That's
petition,
just me.
online petition.
Right, exactly. Cancel NXT 2.0. No, I'm not saying that. It's all good. But yeah, if they change that name, all right, then maybe I'm saying like that feels like they're trying to respect NXT a little bit, and respect what they're trying to do, or what they did. I'm sorry. And then I would give some thought to it, to checking it out, because it'd be something different. So
change the name or bring back Triple H.
If Triple H comes back and he's all in and invested, then I'm gonna give it a shot, because that's the person I'm really riding for in all this. It hurt with William Regal getting fired, but with Triple H, if he comes back and he's invested, then I want to see what he's gonna do. But if I feel like he's a puppet and he's literally just doing this to save his job, I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, you get held against your will. Like, what's going on, Hunter, man? Come on now. So yeah, that's my dude. That's my dude. But yeah, man, great, great discussion there, on NXT 2.0.
Yeah, 2.0.
You ain't gonna let this die, Devin. I know that. So
Never.
it is what it
There's
is,
no
but-
point. There's no point because it's good. It's good. If it was
Ooh.
bad, keep it 100 on that too. But it's look, a big reason for me starting my podcast, the Terrible Wrestling Takes podcast, is in the name itself too. I used to listen to wrestling podcasts. I still do, but I used to listen to all the big ones, right? Like Cheap Heat and Sam Roberts and there was another one that was on CBS, and there was so many. This is how I see it. That's narrative. If you don't see it this way, you're wrong.
Oh,
I'm like, well, no, because I don't agree with you, and I know I'm not wrong.
right.
So I wanted to there's hot takes, there's good takes, there's bad takes, but calling it terrible wrestling takes, you got to put in there that it's also wrestling. It's wrestling.
Yes.
Legit, it's the dumbest fucking thing in the world.
Doesn't make
It
sense
is
at all.
scripted
None of it. It's
performance
not
on
logical.
TV. That's
Figure
loud.
4 reverse. How does the pain get whatever is wrestling?
But we all know that when it gets flipped over, if it finally hits that flip over,
Right.
now the pressure goes to the other side.
We lose our minds. Hey! Oh shit! It's reversed.
Is she gonna catch her? It's just and people get beholden to their opinions so hard that they don't even want to talk about the fact that you're talking about wrestling.
Yeah.
Like you're not even.
Let's
There's
get
nothing
over
important
ourselves on
about
that.
it. It's entertainment. So all
let's just have a
entertainment is
good time with
subjective, man.
this.
Yeah. So if you're down for the conversation and have the conversation, and early on, I used to tag people with hashtag Terrible Wrestling Take, because I stopped doing that because they take offense to it. It's like, no, I'm letting you know that like the way you see it, I see it differently. And as you've seen, we spent almost 3 hours now talking about, the difference in how we see it. But at the end of the day, the conversation was honestly probably more entertaining than the product we watch. But we don't have the content without the content.
Right.
So I'm down for it all. Like I still haven't seen the Brian Hangman match, the second one, and I assume it was good.
I'd be curious on
There's nothing that's drawing me to it, but there's nothing that's drawing you to Braun Breaker, Tommaso Ciampa. And if you had in front of you the full film on how they laid out that feud, you'd be like, damn, that was pretty fucking good. Because it was a good told story in about 3 months, and there was growth in the character and the performance. It went from a rookie wrestler to a champion in 3 matches. So like being able to watch it and just take it for what it is, whether you agree or disagree, like on the Riddle stuff, like let's have the conversation, man. I get why it's good. I don't like it. I get why chocolate ice cream is good. I don't like chocolate ice cream. What do you want me to say? Like tastes like chocolate and ice cream. Two great things. I don't like it.
Ice cream. Right.
You know what I'm
Just
saying?
wrestling at the end of the day.
That's what I'm saying. It's just wrestling.
Yeah.
That's it. Anyone who takes themselves too seriously, man, like come on. Have the conversation.
Internet
Have the
wrestling
fun.
community, they take themselves way too
man.
seriously.
Keep that.
Dude was trying to drag me into a
Oh, my
debate
God.
of a certain move of a power drive. I'm like, bro, I'm not about to go back and forth. Dude, you know what? You got this. You got this, bro. You got this. All right. I just let it go. I'm like, bro, come on, man. I ain't about to do that. You ain't about to bring me down to your level. Fuck that.
Right.
I'm gonna bounce. You do you.
Dude, yeah. Some of
man,
the
it's-
like the hardcore AEW fans, man. Like some of the stuff that I'll read. I'm just like, just calm down. Just calm down. It's not the end all be all of everything. Like they make mistakes. There's faults. Like let's just be honest with it and let's just have fun with it. But they want to shit on. I don't want to get into it. But there's been stuff that it's like let's again, like you said, it's wrestling. Let's just have a good time. Let's just talk about it. There's stuff that I like, I don't like, but I'm not gonna go ahead and chop someone's head off because like they disagree. You know what I'm saying? Like
Speaking of AEW real quick, what do you think of Hook? We never really talked about Hook.
We didn't?
Nah.
No, we did.
Nah.
I mean, I like what they're doing with Hook, man. I feel like he's just beating to his own drum. He's just this like, this old school, like I don't know, a rebel without a cause kind of character. Like, hey, he just walks down the ring, whoops somebody's ass. It looks like he doesn't care, but he gets out there and it's just he's pulling the suplexes. He's, you know, obviously his dad's been training him and showing him the moves because he's got a very similar move set. The crowd loves him. Like, he is already over. Actually, it was a topic I had about this, but you know, with AEW, it was around the FTW championship or the TNT championship, because he's bound for one of them. It's gonna happen. The way that this guy is being, you know, kind of built up a little bit, and just the proximity between him and Ricky Starks. I mean, they're in the same faction, but I feel like Hook is almost more over already than Ricky Starks is, to be real. And then there was a moment after one of the shows where they called out Hook and Cody was in the ring. I think it was after he won the TNT championship from Sammy. And the crowd was trying to let them know, like, hey, we want Hook to be the next TNT champion. I said, oh, shit. So this dude is over, man. I feel like just keep doing what he's doing, though. Mm-hmm. Like, don't rush it, because, yeah, the
feels rushed to me.
I don't think they're rushing it. I don't think they're rushing at all. He's had two.
You know what?
Two matches now on television.
The crowd make it feel like it's rushed, because they just. All right, because I'm gonna be real. I put this post out here, this Facebook post. I was like, "Hey, I need your help, y'all. Help me understand what is the big deal about Hook." Because honestly, I didn't see it. I saw a guy that looks the same size as Goldberg's son, literally. All right, but yet
he would whoop Goldberg's son's ass, though, man. Like, come on now.
Well,
he would whoop his ass. Like,
from an optics view, that's
Goldberg's
what I saw.
Son made a mistake. Like, showed him on television.
Bobby Lashley, bro.
Bobby, and he got what he deserved.
Somehow you know, over. Yeah, but when he went against Bear Country, one of the guys twice his size,
and he's throwing him around. Yeah.
First match, it didn't click with me, man. It didn't click with me. I mean, I respect his talent.
It is what it is.
I respect his talent, but character-wise, it just didn't click. I
think it was the unexpected part of it. Like, no one knew what he was going to be like in the ring. You keep seeing him, you know, with Team Taz. He's there. He's a presence on that team. Yeah. But it's like, is this guy going to ever wrestle? Is he ever going to, you know, get in the ring? He's Taz's son, so there's that expectation. Rey Mysterio's son is wrestling. Like, you got all these guys, these second generation, third generation talents getting in there. So is he going to do it? And then he has this match, and I think it was more of like oh shit, okay, this is going to happen. And then he gets in there, and he's not half bad. And you're like, the fuck? Like, okay, he's pulling suplexes, and it looks clean when he does his moves. Yeah. Like, the suplexes look clean. It doesn't look like someone who this was his first time in the ring. It wasn't like oh gosh, Pat McAfee. You know, like, even Pat McAfee, you know, for all the hate that, you know, we gave it to him against Adam Cole. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. But he did pretty good for a guy who, you know, hadn't been on a televised show. He had been training, but even Hook, I feel like, is cleaner than what Pat McAfee was. So I feel like there was a like, oh my God, like, this guy who we didn't know, I didn't think anything of him. He's just there. And then he starts wrestling. It's like, fuck, okay, he has been training. He has some clean moves. Okay, all right, cool. So we'll see. And then he's got the hair, you know, it's just like, the way he sits at the turnbuckle, like, I don't give a fuck about none of this. They ring the bell and he just starts going nuts. It's like, okay, there's something there. But I guess what you're saying that I'm hearing is you feel like the crowd is overly cheering for this guy like he's a superstar already, versus like, okay, this is the first time we're seeing him. Okay, cool, he did a good job. Nice job.
Right, where's the patience at? Guys
they're just hyped. It's an AEW crowd. What do you expect? Like, they're super hyped about
that same energy, you know? Right here.
Right. Yeah, they're super hyped, man. Like, we talked about it with Riho. You know, when we first saw Riho wrestling, we're like, I don't know if I buy any of this. Like, what's going on?
That's a good comparison, because that's how I feel.
Loved her.
Yeah.
Loved her. Like, she was just like Asuka. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no. She's not on that level. But, you know, that crowd loves pretty much everything. AEW can do no wrong. So with Hook, I feel like there's a little bit of that. But also, too, on my side, what I do appreciate about him is that I didn't see that coming, that where he would have been he would pull off those clean suplexes like that. And it's not just one or two. It's like, okay, he's throwing Northern Lights. He's throwing belly to belly, back belly to belly, like everything. And I'm like, okay, all right. He's got some moves. He's got something. He's not there yet, but he's got something. Let's. He's like, he'd be perfect for NXT 2.0, honestly. Like, just like have him in a developmental and have him start to slowly build up. Like, that's how I feel about him. Yeah.
So maybe you should watch 2.0 and see what that's like.
I see clips on YouTube. It's all right.
That's a good point.
On Instagram, I see it.
This would be a good thing to see. Then go see it. I don't want to.
That's my dude. They got to bring back Hunter. That's what they got to do. I got to see Hunter. Hunter's got to give it the stamp of approval. And I'll be like, all right.
He'll come back.
I'm riding from Hunter.
Vince make him.
Vince will make him. Yeah, right. If I swear to God, man, that man comes up like a gun's pointed to his head. And he's just like reading the script. Yeah, NXT 2.0. Watch it. This is great. This is wonderful. I'm out. I'm calling somebody.
I'll be like, there you go, Hafeez. He said it. He said everything you needed to hear.
Hell no. Like his life is on the line, man. Hell no. Somebody get him some help. Oh shit. Oh man. So yeah. No, it's all fun. It's all fun. All right, man. Any other bonus questions before we call it a show, Devin?
No, man, that was it, man. I'm just gonna thank our guests. Bishop,
yes.
Terrible Wrestling Takes, man. We finally got you out here.
Man. Thank you.
Appreciate it coming through, man, for answering the call, man. So go ahead and shout out your medias, man.
Yeah,
you already did, but this is your time to shout out again.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yes, I'm Bishop from the Terrible Wrestling Takes podcast. That's twtakespodcast.com for all audio platforms. If you don't necessarily subscribe, I have a player on the website, so you can sample the show without even downloading an episode. Just go to the website, twtakespodcast.com. Go to twtakespodcast.com/twts. I got the dopest merch, fastest shipping, lowest prices in the podcast game, period. I ship from Delaware to Alaska in 4 days. You know what I'm saying? I don't mess around. So I got a 5-pack right now for $35. You know what I'm saying? $7 a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we do over here. Check me out on Twitter at twtakespodcast. Look, I can't thank you guys enough. When you get into this to do this for a hobby and you let your opinions out there and people respect your voice and you're able to lend a little bit of an escape for people. Yeah. And they want to create the conversation. Again, Devin, you've been reaching out to me for, I'll say, probably, maybe a month or two to get this conversation really going. You're like, gotta have a show. And it didn't line up. And then even this time, I wasn't sure I could really do it. And we made it happen because at this point, the conversation, man, it's worth having. So I absolutely appreciate it. And Hafeez, I know I fuck with you on Twitter all the time, going with the jazz back and forth. But that's why we're here, man.
I saw Bishop. I said, "Oh boy,
we ready now. Let's get it." Nah, man, it's
when you first named out Hafeez, I was like, "Oh shit, I got a screen recording left." He's like, "Bro, look what he's saying, bro."
Okay, all right,
the ability to have a conversation with somebody that differs in your opinion, man, that's lost in all walks of life right now.
Yes.
I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it across the board. Yeah. And like I said, the energy that you guys emit on this show is fantastic. I'm a positive energy guy, and I get lost in negative energy all the time. So the more positive energy I can find, man, I'll never stop listening to the show, whether I'm on it or not. So I absolutely appreciate y'all having me on one last time for the one time. twtakespodcast.com for all audio platforms, at twtakespodcast on Twitter.
Oh, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's a privilege and an honor, sir. Yes, definitely. Whether we agree, disagree, the debate, the conversation has just been great. I look forward to having this again with you too. And with it, the next time I was gonna say the next time wear the jersey, go ahead and put it on.
You got it right. You gonna put it on. You gonna rep his team.
There you go. Rep
on this
team,
Chicago
man.
podcast.
It's all love. It's all love. Hey man.
Got my Reggie White 75th anniversary Packers patch. I'm a OG to the Packers squad. This ain't just an Aaron Rodgers thing for me. I've been way back. Reggie White got me to the team. Favre made me stay. Aaron is keeping it going. It's going to end at some time. I do realize that. So I got to bask in the glory. Shout out to Keith Lee.
Yes.
He ain't coming back at the Rumble.
No. That ain't happening. That shit ain't happening.
Not no Bearcat. Wow.
Not make a return. All right. With that said, Devin, please, sir, tell the people where they can catch us.
Yes, all the time. You know the deal. A one-stop and shop website. You can catch all of our social medias there too, and especially our merch, like this T-shirt. We got beach towels, but not around this time for us, because it's cold as hell.
Beach towels.
Yeah. Niger, South America, you know, Australia down there in the southern hemisphere. Yes, tropical. Maybe my big sis in Florida, you know, like the rub in my face. I got the AC on. It's 83. It's like, shit, it's 30 degrees. Freeze my ass off. Right?
It's cold.
Yes. ClarkStreetWrestling.com. ST for the abbreviation. Don't forget about our merch as well. Click that store link or just type in ClarkStreetWrestling.com/store for yo pleasure. It is decided.
Yes. And with that said, that is going to do it for this episode. Again, thank you so much, Bishop. Terrible Wrestling Takes. Check him out. For Devin, I'm Hafeez. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to the Clark Street Wrestling Podcast 2.0.
Triple H.